So now we're going to locate and select the sold item. We're going to take that sold item and actually create an invoice. And then we're going to verify the supplier, enter this invoice number, okay? And then we're going to process it to the payables, okay? Or I'm sorry, we're going to process it to an actual invoice, and then we're going to process it to the payables. So let's kind of go back and look at that. So what's going to happen is as my vendor comes in and restocks, he's going to bill me for what's sold, okay? Now you do have some features here. Let's kind of talk about them at the top. If I need to refresh this, I can refresh the screen, okay? See, so I can go back, click, hit search again, go find it, okay? I can highlight an item, okay? Now you're going to notice some features at the top. I can do an edit, okay? So edit gives you the capability of editing this cost, okay? Now we're not going to get into great detail right now, but you can change the cost of this as it's going through the system, and it will retroactively change the cost on the invoice where it was sold. Okay, it will do that. Okay. If you have multiple quantities here, so if I had sold 2 or 3 of these MT75s and they're ready to bill me for 1 or 2 of them, then I do have the capability of doing a split. So I can split these up into 2 separate line items, okay? Because I only want to push forward to the consignment invoices what they're actually billing me for, okay? And again, you always have your print features, your PDF and all that, and you can email. But basically, once they bill you for it, you're going to take the item or items and you're going to create an invoice. So what's going to go in this here is going to be the invoice number from your vendor. So this will be your invoice number. Okay, I'll just put a number in here. We hit OK. It's going to pull it from the consignment sold and move it down to consignment invoices. Okay, so let's go back here. So from consignment invoices, we can search for them. We can highlight the consignment invoice and edit, and then we can change the menu groups. And then here's where we're going to actually post it. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to go to my consignment invoices. Again, my search here, I can search all or just one. Okay, I can look for what has been posted and not posted, and I can search by number. Okay, so if I hit search, there's my invoice. So I open it up, do an edit. Now, looks familiar, doesn't it? It's just kind of like a regular supplier invoice. Okay, you're going to have a lot of the same features here. You're going to have invoice number, posting date. Again, you can change it. If you need to change the invoice number, if you made an error and need to fix it, you can fix it. Okay. You can select the item, go look at the invoice where it was sold. So here's the invoice where it was sold. Okay. You can remove an item. When I remove it, it's going to actually pull it from the invoices and it's going to move it back to consignment sold. Okay. You have a tax adjustment and you have an adjustment. Okay. So you can adjust here also. Remember, when I'm here and I'm verifying everything, I can adjust the value here. And then if I come down here, it's only a supplier invoice adjustment. If I'm making an adjustment here, it's on the actual product itself. Or if I do it here, then I am only adjusting the invoice itself, not the actual line item. Okay, there is a difference. You do have an edit feature. Edit allows you to move it from one supplier to another or change an invoice number here for this particular line item. Okay. Once you have your invoice number correct, your posting date correct, your total is correct, send it to the payable. Okay. All right. How do I handle a return item? You know, sometimes you're going to have parts that are sitting in inventory on consignment, and you need to send them back to a vendor for whatever reason. You know, maybe don't want to stock it anymore, or they changed up the number and they're going to take one back and give you a different part number or something. Okay. So when returning a consignment item to a supplier, the supplier will normally create a consignment bill for the item and then issue a credit. Okay. So you got to really think of this as you're going to have actually two pieces of paper. You're going to have one where you're billed for it and one where you're credited. So it's just nothing but a wash. That's all it is. Okay. That's going to require two separate invoices to be processed through the system. Okay. So we're going to go to inventory. We're going to select return, and then we're going to enter the quantity we want to return. Okay. So we're going to go back to inventory. I can go to setup, or I can go right here through the utility, either way. Okay. And let's go look for an MT75. There's my item. I click on it, right click and do an edit. And then I want to return it. So I'm going to send one back. Okay, save. We're done here. Okay, so what is going to happen here? Let's go take a look. I'm going to kind of refresh all this. So we're going to go into consignment sold, interstate. Here is telling me I'm returning this product. So they're going to bill me for this product. Okay. If I go down and look in my returns, and I go look under interstate, you're going to find the other side to this, which is the part being returned. Okay. Let's go back here. So we're going to process the supplier invoice as a bill. Okay. We're going to process it from this consignment sold. We're going to put it to an invoice and then post it to the payable. Okay. Then we're going to process the credit. We're going to send that to a slip, and then we're going to send it to the payables through the credit slips. So when I go to the payable account, the payable for interstate, you're going to see two things. You're going to see a supplier invoice, a credit invoice. One washes the other out. Okay, so let's go do that. So I have my part that I'm returning. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to create an invoice. Okay, so we'll just put an invoice here. We'll just call it invoice number 1. Okay, move it to the invoices. Open that up. Search. Open this invoice and then post it into the payable account. So that's step 1. Okay. Step 2, we must go process the return. So we go to returns. I'll look up interstate here. Highlight the item. Create a slip. We'll just call this return slip number 1. Hit OK. Now I've moved it down to the slips. So look up interstate again. Search. There's my return slip. And then post it through. So two completely separate actions. One is the bill, one is the return. So when I go into my accounting and I look up the interstate payable account, so we're going to look up interstate, what am I going to see here? I'm going to see an invoice and a return. Okay. So what happens? This is going to be credited against this invoice. So very simple. Just highlight, pick where it goes, hit save, and now it's a wash. Everything is straight. We don't have to worry about making any adjustments.